Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Wednesday, so you know that means we're here with our money mindset coach. I'm here from California Cover Ups. I'm Carolina, and my co-host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, is producing the show in the background. She has us everywhere. We're over here on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and places beyond. So, with that, I just want to introduce to some and present to others our co-host for today, Miss Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Helping us get our money minds together. How you doing this morning, Caren?
Fabulous, fabulous.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the weather like in Canada?
Oh, today's a little chillier, but yesterday it rained all day. I was out most of
Oh,
the day. It wasn't cold, but it was just a lot of rain. Yeah,
okay.
time of the year coming around to, close to April, so we're gonna get our showers. So I guess it's just preparing us. But it's
Ah,
a little colder today. My mom stepped up, it's a little colder.
uh-huh.
But you gotta just keep your mind in the game. It's that's what it is. If you're in Canada, you go.
That's right. Nothing stops for snow
No,
uh,
you just go ahead.
or for bad weather. So with that, I just want to say it's been unseasonably warm here in
Ah,
Sacramento. Not like in the hundreds, but we're in the 70s, and that's kind of unusual for us. Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah, for
Yeah, yeah, for real.
hmm.
Really warm weather.
So I think that's what prompted me to ask you about the weather.
Yeah.
So what do you have for us today, Karen?
Oh, so today we're talking about strength training.
Oh,
Yeah. So could you imagine, guys? This is my birthday month. Oh, the Pisces people. And the month, we're in the third month of the year. When I say my birthday month, I always say it's the third month of the year. Okay. We've been January, February, we're in March. And I begin this year talking about a time for everything. I talk about budgeting, different kinds of it, personal, business, how to get things on track. And this is so one of the things most people frown on budgeting. I was checking a lot of YouTube channel where people talk about it and people say, yeah, I don't want to deal with it. But it's one of the freedom things in your life that's going to get you to do so many great things. Okay. So please, I talked about it early on, but I'm just bringing it as a reminder. Last month, we talked a lot about sales. And if you budget well and get yourself right, you'll understand how much sales you need to make, how you need to set yourself up right to bring in the sales because it's important. 3 months, which means we have 9 months left for the year, and you want to really do well in those 9 months. So that's why we talk about sales earlier on. And usually during the year, I'll bring it back again because it's just so important. If you're in business right now, that's what you need to do, sell. And if you're at your job and you want to leave and get into business, you still need to sell so you can have a chunk of money put away, budgeted right, so that when you leave work, you got your backup and you're making money also from your business. And this month, we're going to talk a lot about money and mind. That's what I'm known for, and that's what I'm good at. Bring it back in terms of, and put a little twist on it. Today, I'm naming the topic strength training for your money
mm-hmm.
and your mind. And we're going to talk about it in different segments. Today, we're going to talk about what is it, and it's really strength training about the mind, body, and soul, spirit, if you will. And number two, we're going to talk about why is it so important. It's important because it will force you to live up to your full potential. It is really important. I'll go into a little detail on that. And then we're going to talk
Okay,
a little bit about money of itself. All right. So
okay.
that's what we're covering today. Let's sip my orange juice, putting some string there while we're talking. All right. Ready, Terry? You ready for
Yes, we're ready.
this off? Okay. Why is it? What is it? What is strength training? Strength
Mm-hmm.
training is never the amount of weight that you're picking up. It's never the amount of weight you're picking up. But your mind decide on some things. And so when you're thinking about building strength, it's like if you're weak in this arm, I remember I used to be very weak in my right arm. Still is not as strong as I'd like to be, but it's a matter of me understanding the processes to build the strength. So when I go to lift something, I lift it knowing that I can lift it, even though my part of me is my arms feel like I can't lift it. Let me just say, my arms feel like I can't lift it. So my son would always say to me, "Mom, you can do anything." I'm like, "I can't do everything." Yeah, you can do it. And no, the reason I appear that I can do anything and everything, A, I believe in God and He gives me all this power that I have. But two, it's my mind that makes me do the things I do. It's not necessarily the strength in me. It's my mind. Once I believe it and I confirm it that I should be doing it, then I can do it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the kind of muscle we have to keep building. That's the kind of muscle we have to keep building in our private life and also in our businesses. We have to keep building that. I was watching this show that was last night, and this girl had to lift. She's doing some bodybuilding, and she's got a lot of size on her. She knows she's not going to lose the weight before she can go into competition. So that's not how her life is going to pan out because she suffered with, I forget what's the name of the illness, which means instead of losing weight, she gains weight.
Mm.
That's just the way it is. So she's living her best life and living to her fullest potential, regardless of the size she's at. So
Okay.
in training, and the personal trainer was explaining to her where he's going to pick her up from and where he's going to lead her to. And everything that she has to do, it really doesn't depend on how heavy the weight is. And that is so true. She is going to work with her mind and forget about what's in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
This is not easy. I get it. If you want to come at me, I'm letting you right now. I know that I get it. But it's a process that you go through so you can do it. And I bring that little synopsis in, but what does that mean for a business person? Just like how you dream up an idea and an idea came to you and you turn it into a business, it's the same thing you have to continuously do once you're now in the business. You're building up that strength so that you can weather the storm because the storm always comes. There's not a if, it always comes. And you just have to be there to weather it. And how you weather it is building up the strength in the mind, in the spirit, and in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, although all I teach is money and mindset, not only, but part of it is I always want people to think about their physicality. And that means exercise, because when you exercise, when somebody comes to me and said, "Well, I'm slim, I don't need to lose weight," exercise is not about losing weight. Exercise is about clearing the mind and living the kind of life that you want to live right now. And when you clear that space and you work out, whether you walk, whether you run, whether you get in front of TV or you go to the gym, there's this clearance that happens when you are in this physical part of you, in your mindset. It happens if you allow it, I should say. Because if you get there and you're congested and you're worrisome, you really is not going to see the benefit of that half an hour, 20 minutes, or an hour workout. You could work out for 2 hours. Matter of fact, I'm going to say this right now. You could work out for 2 hours and not get a lot of benefit because you're clustered and you're congested. This is
Mm.
why we like to talk about, most coaches do. I do, I know for sure. Talk about getting up in the morning, journaling, doing your prayer, your meditation, clearing so that when you go to work out, you've dumped the garbage out because garbage just is attracted to us human beings. We attractive. Takes time to not attractive. And so we want to get that out of the way so that when you hear somebody say you can work out for 20 minutes and see results, they're not kidding you. It's just that they're not saying upfront that, hey, you need to get out the garbage before I can give you 20 minutes. Because if you come with garbage, I can't give you the work you need in the 20 minutes. It's not going to work. You're going to
Mm.
feel you need more time. But you're going to get there. And once the majority is gone, you're able to work out.
Oh,
And I mean, your mind
wow.
is clear.
Well, we have Jerry and Robin in here. How you doing this morning?
Hi, Jerry. Hi, Robin.
and, and everybody else who's joined us this morning. Wow. So, okay. So before we can lift the weight, we have to clear our minds, which makes sense since we're talking about our money mindset. Yes. Okay.
right?
Wow.
You want to clear that mind. You want to get ready to go. And number two is, why is this so important? Because it will force you to live up to your full potential. Because most of us, as you know, since last year I've been saying this, or the year before, most people work on a 40-60, if that much. Very few people work at 80, much less 90 to 100. That's why
Hmm.
everybody starts. I remember everybody start. When I first came to North America, people tell me you got to work at 120%. I'm like, but I can't go to 120%. What are you talking about? I am this. And then I start, getting into my mind and evaluating and understanding, and literally over time recognize that the reason it's said, and this is my opinion, and I'm holding it tight for years now. If you are working at 100%, you don't need 120. But the reason it feels like you need 120, 150, 200% is because you are working at a 40-60. When you imagine you're just working at 40% and you're not pushing to where you need to be. And this push is not tire push, it's not overwhelm push, it's organizing and putting things into slot. When I talk about money just now, I'm going to talk about column wise, but this is you not getting yourself where you need to get to. And the first statement is so that you clear. When you clear and you come back, let's say you went to the gym and you really work, for that half an hour or that three-quarter of an hour, whatever time it is, and you come back home. Yes, you're going to be attacked. Let me just clarify right now. You're going to be attacked because everything that you dumped early want to revisit you. This is the pattern. This is something a lot of people don't be talking about, but a pattern, it doesn't just evaporate, so it comes and visits you again. So it might visit you in the shower, and you have to have the things that I usually talk about, that is rebuke, so that it doesn't fall upon you. So while you're showering, for instance, if you had worked out just 30 minutes and your mind is saying you should have stayed an hour, you want to inform it that you are not going to give your workout an hour because you've got things planned for the rest of the day. And it's just a conversation that you're having. And it seems so like, well, why wouldn't I do it? But sometimes it comes so rapid that you think you can do it. So my suggestion is always slow down the way you're thinking. Just slow down your processes and answer one question at a time. I should have spent an hour. No, half an hour is great because this is my day's work. Snippet. Do not get into further explanation because more things will come to your mind and you wouldn't be able to get past that. So you want to look after that. Whatever else comes, make sure you answer one or two questions at a time and make sure you move it away. If more keep coming and they have no relevancy with your day, park it. Do not engage the thought. Leave it alone. I'm not answering you. I'm not dealing with you. You're not part of what's happening today, the 4th of March, 2020. You're not on my agenda. You're not on the calendar. I'm not dealing with you. Like literally, you're talking to yourself about these things so that more don't pour into you. And you're paying attention because what it'll do is take away your energy, take away your focus, and all of a sudden you come out of the shower, you have your breakfast, you might not even have the breakfast you were going to have because you're not paying attention. You drop some cereal, you do some stuff, and you're not paying attention. If you follow my guides that I talk about, those things are pre-set up, so you don't have to worry. If you eat cereal and fruit that morning with orange juice, it's set up there. So when you're out to the shower, you go and sit at the table, you get your coffee, and you have that. You're done. But if you're the person that is not there yet, you will be distracted in what you're going to eat. And this helps also with me talking about putting your menu in the fridge. So when I get to the fridge, it's right up there. I know what's for breakfast, what's for lunch, for dinner. Even if I feel swayed, I know what is there. So I'm not going to eat it because it's not going to benefit me because it's on the menu. Why would I spend it taking a whole month's calendar set up on my fridge and then not follow it? That's my logic.
Mm.
So it's there. So I know what I'm going to have. But just those little tiny things distracts you. And then by the time you get into your office, if you work like I from home, you're like, so what was I supposed to do today? And then your day's done and you didn't do much. And then you beat yourself up day in, day out. And that's not what I want for anybody. So you can live up to your full potential if you're always beating you up or not having things, set up in a way so that you can win. Really true. Win. That's part of
Gotcha.
your true. All right. So I left money for number three because I want to go into a little really bit about it. Number three is money. Why and what? This has to do with strength training. Strength training is about building muscles. And to build your money muscles, there's a lot of different areas. Matter of fact, this is why people don't like to talk about it. If you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, we love numbers, so of course we loving it. But if you're not, you don't love it. And if you went into accounting just because it pays well, or you did like math, but you don't like certain things, then you're not really engaging in your best self.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're working, some people it's just because it's a job. It's not really their sweet spot. It's just a job for them, and it earning them. They're getting to where they need to be, and nothing's wrong with that. But if that's not your juicing, after a while, it just become boring.
Mm.
Money, having it or not, beats you up like a rag doll. That's what I say. It just beats you up like a rag doll. If you pay no attention to it, it's gonna beat you up, and if you pay too much attention to it, it's also gonna beat you up.
Mm.
I had a conversation with a client a couple of days ago, and we were just talking generally. And I was encouraging her to take whatever money she has, and because in her case, she needed to like pay no attention to it because she was paying too much attention to it. Just like leave it alone and don't engage in it. Like leave it. Don't touch it. Don't talk about it. Just do whatever you got to do that has nothing to do with money. For the other side, for the person who don't have, then it's hard for them because they're only focusing on when I have, I need to have, I'm going to bring it
Mm.
to have. So a lot of stuff is happening on the brain. So they have to really decompartmentalize things and really line things up where it have to go because money is so emotional. It's really such an emotional roller coaster that if you allow it to have total power over you, and that's where we
Mhm.
come into the money is the root of all evil and stuff like that. You can't seem to breathe or focus without some part of you thinking about it. And most people who's in that kind of a rhythm don't have a budget, don't have a focus. Is not building strength in any specific department. So everything is so clustered up that they look most time like they don't have money. But a lot of
Mm.
times when we sit and talk, we realize that they do have money. They just don't know that they have
Correct. They don't
money.
know where it is.
They don't know where it is. They don't know where it is.
Mhm. Or how to organize it.
Mhm. Because whatever is happening with them emotionally, mentally, and physically is tying it up in this knot that is, you and I saw Terry. So let's talk about a thread knot that get reknots and reknots, and you're trying to pull it through and you can't
Mhm.
untangle the knot. And if that's really happening and you're sewing, you just cut the knot off and that's it. You start over, you retread, right? And
Yes.
that's what we need to do as human beings. Like if we're so knotted, we need to stop, take a breath, go for a walk, fix a puzzle, play with a kid. If you got a dog, do so. Something that has nothing to do with that so you can get out of the knot and then sit down and really ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, honestly, what do I need to pay for every month? Because that's what boiled down to it. This other person was something like that. Like, what do I have to pay for each month? And where's my money going? And what do I really, really, and truly would like to see my money to go? And so
Mhm.
just ask these simple questions, and then I'll give the money, as we all know, this job to do so it can do the job. Go shopping with your eyes only. Do not buy anything. Just go shopping with
Mm.
your eyes and mentally calculate. Take with your calculator if you have to. Calculate what it's going to cost you and write it down. Keep track of where all this money is going and write it down. Just don't spend it. If you know that you wanted to buy yourself, a couple of pants and tops, summer's coming and you need a new wardrobe,
Mhm.
write it down and save towards buying that rather than running out and buying a pants and a shoe because it's on sale. Because is it really on sale? I don't know. Is it the last year pants that is faded but you can't see really in the seams and it's ripping
Mm.
and you think it's on sale but it's not really on sale. So by the time you bring it to get it altered. It costs you more money than if you had just wait and buy the pans that you really want because you budgeted for the pans. I
Mm.
know I talk about budgeting for car and house and different things, but you can also budget for your wardrobe. I don't know if you guys were whoever's here and listen to the replay, if you used to listen to us on Fire.
Well, let me show you some of the comments.
Okay.
Robin says the lack mindset. I'm working to get rid of that.
Yes,
And
Robin,
Lucy
girl.
says it's a good idea to write it down. I never thought of that either. To go window shopping, what we call window shopping. You say shopping with your eyes, um, and then write it down
Mm-hmm.
because it's a biblical principle to count the cost before you
Mm-hmm.
begin, and so that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay. So, because a lot of times I window shop, but I don't go
Yeah.
in there and figure out what the price is and write it down.
Yeah, I'll write it down. I'll write how much tax it costs on it. So I'm going with a through number when I go into shop versus the number when the tax get added on. I'm like, whoa, no. So I go with the through
Yeah.
number. So everything is add up and is there. Same thing I do if I'm ordering online. I go with the true number to make sure I go in, I check out the websites, I see what I like and what it's going to do. It's on my budget. The date and the time when it's going to be bought is on my budget because I also want to have that there so that when the credit card statement come in, it's paid off. And so it's a whole, I want to make sure I'm tracking everything and everything is there. So that's so important to do. You don't feel overwhelmed anymore. You don't feel like you're spending to broke. You don't feel like you're living paycheck to paycheck because these things you plan for it. It's like when you buy a house, they say put down X amount of dollars for repairs. So when you go to repair your home, the money is there to take out to do it. If you have a car, you're going to need oil change. You got to put aside a percentage so that when your car need repair or what have you, it's there already. You have these things waiting to be paid for. And so you're not feeling your heart, is in your hand and money is not whipping you like the rag doll anymore because now you're scrambling trying to put it on your card or you're these unexpected things happen. You want to have it plan for. Yes, I know you can't plan for everything, but there's a lot of things in our control that we can plan for. And when we do plan for it, it helps us to not be in the knot. And money don't get to use us anymore. Money don't get to be at the top of the mind, and that's the only thing we do. I hear people say I can't afford a coach, but honestly, if you know you want a coach, you might be the person that need to save for a year for a coach. Then when you do save for a year for the coach, you can pay. No, you when you pay the coach, you feel better because you got time to spend doing the work the coach has given you to do. You're not
Mm.
worried about catching up and that sort of thing. Like it just gives you this play and you really want to pay attention to that stuff. If you're going to buy a computer and that's for your business, same thing, you save towards it. You want to have these different pockets. Oh, I was going to say on Fire Talk, and I'll bring it back again, where I talk about budgeting and I'd given you guys a whole breakdown of sections, what to put in the section, why they should be in the section, then you move it
Mm.
over. It seems like work, but it's work that you're working on yourself. Lots of time people talk about self care. Your financial planning is part of your self care because you need money to go and get a massage and go to the gym and all that stuff. So part of
Yeah.
financial is your self care. You see, you're taking care.
Wow. Wow. Financial planning is part of self care. Well, Robin says this. Yesterday, I skipped the shops and spent time at the beach instead. Beautiful.
Beautiful, Robin. Beautiful she's building her mental strength there, like just enjoying what is it around you, just being aware, just so many. I find anytime I do that, I mean, I don't have anywhere to go by the water, but whether I'm taking a bath and soaking or anything like that, I'm just being quiet and just allowing my thoughts to flow and just allowing this peace to happen. And anything that comes up with money, I don't entertain the thought. I don't have the conversation with myself with it. Is the other thing. You could not have a conversation with yourself with something if it's not supposed to be happening at that moment. You tell you, Caren, we're not discussing this right now. We're having a bubble bath.
Mm.
Yes, I know you're going to work your way to that because sometimes it's not as easy as I'm saying it because it wasn't initially, but now I could literally say that's not a conversation we're having right now. We're not doing that.
Hmm.
We're talking about this. and just let that be. And just let that be. So you got to be aware of yourself. You have to really give yourself, permission to do certain things that you
Yes.
and don't
Say,
let it
okay.
beat you up. Yeah, don't let it beat you up. Especially if you're feeling, if somebody, there's things about money that people don't even realize. If you're feeling emotional, if you're feeling like somebody did you wrong, if you're feeling like you're feeling guilty because you did something you shouldn't have done, it will sometimes, not every time, but it will sometimes make you spend that you didn't intend to spend. Um,
Hmm.
you know, whether it's because you call up a friend and you went to dinner, went to the movies, yes, you had a good time, but it's things you didn't have planned out to do and you just went to spend money. Or sometimes not even you, but somebody called you up and I know this has happened to me. Somebody called me up and I come back home and I spent like $350. I didn't even plan on this kind of spending. What happened? And it's not because I'm being a penny pincher. It's just that this is because of what was happening. So she called me. She needed this. I didn't even spend the money on me. And it's not really going to better her in any shape or form, but we did this. And I was like, mm-mm. And that's what happened. That was emotional spending. And it didn't really
Hmm.
help the person when you look back at it because she's still calling me for stuff. So it really did. It seems like it suited at the moment, but it really didn't do what we think it would have done. This is years ago, but just to point that out, emotional money will, in different, as I said, not every time, but it could have you spending and doing things that you wouldn't normally do because you're emotionally trapped at the moment. And so your mind is not clear enough to decide X, Y, and Z. It could be because also from a breakup, people who get divorced. I have a friend who she's paralegal and she handles the money side of when people get divorced. And that's like a big thing. Most people will, while they're going through, will spend a whole bunch of money that they don't really have. And now they're at the table and maybe, they just want to have a mediator, but then there's a whole bunch of financial problems that's happening that somebody was handling it in a crazy manner and they just went berserk. And now my friend has to go in.
Which is probably the reason for the divorce. But anyway,
Right?
yeah, a lot of divorces are about,
Money.
different money stories not being able to gel.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And to have the conversation, usually it's one person is a spender and one person is a saver. Most times, it's very rare both are spender saver, but to have the conversation with your partner is not easy. I know it's not easy. So if you have to say to your partner, we can only afford $20 a month each as our spending money, and the rest goes to bill. And the partner is a person who smokes cigarettes and want to have a beer and stuff. They're like, I can't handle $20. So instead of telling you, they might put it on the credit card, and then the credit card statement comes, and you see a pack of beer and how many packs of cigarettes, and you're like, what the heck? We decided we're gonna pull this credit card statement to zero, and this is the months we've given it. And I'm coping with a coffee here and there with my $20, but you don't wanna. Then there's this confusion, and it never starts big. It's just like I'm arguing, and then I'm upset because now the trip that we were planning, we can't go because we've got this bill with 6 beers every week. And 6 beers every week is nothing, but over a month, it's a lot of money that adds up.
Hmm.
Plus, then the car, something happened to the car, we had to fix the car, and once you're the rag doll stage, everything happens. I call it the rag doll stage. So you just got a ping pong
Because he's just
down.
flopping around. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when you're in strength training, you really have to pay attention to every part of you. It forces you to pay attention to every part of you, wake you up so you can live to your full potential.
Wow.
That's what we want to do anyway.
This is a good thing.
And don't get into the ragdoll syndrome, right? So that you're just pinging off of, you're reacting instead of being proactive.
Okay.
I think that's what I want people to really start thinking of, being proactive instead of reactive. And think about that statement throughout the year. We're in March. As I said, whatever it is you need to do, we're not kids. You get up and you do it. I don't really care if you don't feel like doing it. Sorry. Not sorry. You just get up and you do it. You can do it while
Hmm.
you complain. Over time, you yourself would not want to hear you keep whining, so you'll stop whining. But you go do it. You get up and you go do it. It's good to know you, good to investigate you. I think last year I was talking about that a little bit on one of the shows. Be a private investigator of yourself.
Hmm.
Investigate who you are as a person, what your likes are, what you don't like, what you used to like a couple of years ago, you might not like anymore. Be honest with yourself. If you don't like noise anymore, then you know what you need to do. If you still like a lot of hubba lubba jubba like me, I still like my hubba lubba jubba. But there's times I like my quietness, especially when I'm reading. I like to be in a nice quiet space. I just want to curl up with my book. Don't come bother me. And I announce it. I'm like, guys, I'm gonna read for a couple hours. Don't disturb me. Because I don't want it to pretend that if you come, I'm smiling and everything is okay. I don't want it there.
Well, we got a few more comments. Let's see here. Robin says this is brilliant,
Thanks, Rob.
and Brenda's in agreement with you. Robin says the ragdoll stage. Yes, she gets that. Yep. So let's review. We had three things. I know the first one was you got to clear your mind, which
Mhm.
I never thought of journaling as clearing my mind. Maybe that's why my mind's cluttered. But anyway,
Oh, man.
then
Journaling
then number
serves so much purpose. So, George, clearing your mind and also getting things off your chest, dumping. But also, journaling is good for what you're reaching forward to, right? So, got all those goals. And one day I'll come in and talk strictly about journaling because I always hinting about it. I think I'm going to come and talk about journaling.
yeah, because seriously, those of us who don't journal really do not know how. And it sounds a lot like keeping a diary. And then we go back to, I really don't want to remember that stuff. Anyway, I don't want a record anywhere of the crap that I've been through. But and then number two sounded a lot like we need a routine. Did I sum that up?
Is why is it so important? Because it forces us to live up to our full potential.
Okay. So and then number three was we need to know our numbers. Um, because in our minds we're either need to be at a point where we can just let money sit, right? Or if we don't have money, we're constantly pursuing it.
And so number three is really
And there's
about
got to be a balance.
yes, giving it too much attention or not giving it enough attention. And usually it's those two far poles where people
Extreme.
are. Yeah, either here or there. That's where people are. When people are in the middle, they're kind of like this. But when they're at these two extremes, it's hard for them because the people who is giving it too much attention is because they're frightened they lose the money that they've made. So they're
Ah,
always in that worry land that I might not have because when I was
okay.
poor, don't want to live in a certain stage.
So we got fear over here,
Hmm.
and then we got the people who just want to forget. They're pursuing it.
Yeah. And
You
they're
know what
all
I
in the
mean?
knot of thread and all that those are the rag doll I'm talking about, right? Because you're like ping ponging, which leads us back to what I talked before about sales and budgeting. Most important aspect that it seems so hard for people that they really need to understand. And budgeting is money management. Budgeting is just money management, understanding how to manage your money, window shop with your
Mhm.
eyes, note it down, understand the cost. I want to spend $1,000 in some great outfits, and maybe it's going to involve two shoes. What is that going to look like money wise, with your tax included? Don't spend $1,000 and then when you know it costs tax on it, you're like, what do you want? No, make sure the $1,000 include your tax and maybe lunch and a coffee or something. Make sure it includes all of that.
So that you can afford to get to and from the store in a relaxed way. Because you never want to do business when you're tired, hungry, or your feet hurt. Okay, girl, please. Okay, got you.
Oh
Wow.
boy. So this is March and we're talking all about money and mindset. This is part of mindset training we're doing today. We'll talk a little bit about money for the rest of the month. We're going to be tapping in on different areas so you can understand the tug of war and, if that's happening inside of you, how to deal with
Well, we want to say happy birthday month, Coach Karen.
it. Thank you.
And thank you for taking time out to give us some tips on how to handle our money. Oh my gosh. As you were talking, I was just thinking, wow, we need to do a money workshop because people just really need to get time to actually do the work. And the only way to get time to do the work, if you're not used to doing the work, is to get into a workshop where the time is allotted.
Yes.
Um, but we'll talk about that soon. All
Okay.
right, guys. Is there anything else you want to summarize and let us know where to find you, Coach Karen, on the web?
Yeah, what I talk about today, all month again, we'll be talking about strength training and money and mindset. I'm everywhere right now in Profits in Daily. My group is Profits in Daily, entrepreneurial prosperity and stuff like that. Profit in Daily. I think next week I'm going to start my free little courses where if you're in the group, you get to take. You do have to sign up for it, but you get to take. I think I'm going to do it about 8 modules, tiny modules where you come in and do work leading towards into my prep programs. And I'm in there, but I was off for about 6 weeks, but I'm back in there come next week full time again. Everywhere though, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere, Profiting Daily. So what are we talking about constantly? Money and mindset. And my money and mindset stuff really surround you, growing yourself as a person from head to
Great. Okay, guys, you heard her. Profit and Daily. You can find Coach
toe.
Karen on the web. That's Karen with a C. Good job, Britta. With that, I just want to remind everybody, don't forget to go to the front of your own line. Tomorrow we'll be here with Happy, Healthy Habits with Robin Shamizu and friends. And we'll be talking about how to be safe from the coronavirus.
Oh, yo, boy. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So with that, I want to say we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye bye. All righty then. Let me go here. Just a moment, guys. I think this is it. Okay, bear with me because I was expecting our producer to do this. All right, we're going to end the broadcast.